How much of a difference does it make to being a creative entrepreneur? And do you know what one is? Hmm. Well, on today's episode of Fabulous Friday, because it's not Momentum Monday today, but we still have to have momentum as we continue in our days and our week. But we have a special episode today, a little different than our usual one. It's more kind of vloggy type, as opposed to your straight up Momentum Monday style podcast. But today it's all about the creative entrepreneur and defining who and what is a creative entrepreneur and why is that important? Why do we want to take the time to understand the creative entrepreneur? Well, after today, I think you'll have a better understanding of why that's so important if you haven't already. But first, let me introduce my special guest who is actually sleeping on the job. Let's see if you can see him. Let's see if you can see him. Say hi to Joey. Let me not disturb him too much because he is fast asleep. Okay, but I had to acknowledge his presence nonetheless. So this week, if you are a recipient of the Supercharged Weekly newsletter, which I highly encourage you to download. I'll share with you the link in a moment, but it's emilymccue.com/free gift, and you will get onto the newsletter. That's one way, anyhow. So it was all about synergy. The topic was synergy and the concept of aligned synergy. And in our Mindset Minute today, I will go into a little bit more on this aligned synergy. But what does this have to do with being a creative entrepreneur? The first thing is aligning your talents and skills and interests. How do we define someone who is a creative person? We tend to think of artists, we tend to think of writers, we tend to think of all kinds of the creative arts, but it's not limited to that. But usually it's someone who either fits one of those definitions or, a musician or someone who we consider creating some kind of art form. But again, I'm going to reiterate, it's not limited to that. Hence, why are we making the distinction? Well, the distinction is important because many people go into entrepreneurship by accident. So they have a skill, they have a certain service or product that they can offer, but their passion isn't really business. It's more so what they do. But by virtue of what they do, they have to learn certain basics of business in order to function. And that's really a critical component to understand of this process, which sometimes is overlooked. And people just kind of makeshift, patch it up with some duct tape here and there. Oh, I have to go do my bookkeeping, even though I'm a year behind. I have to go and do this. And you kind of do it last minute. It's not planned. It's not premeditated. It's kind of as it's needed, you think about it. And unfortunately, a lot of businesses are run that way. But what that creates is inefficiencies, loss of time, and certainly a loss of profit. So the whole supercharge process is to take into account how can you have a purpose, your creative mission, and apply that to a process which then will produce for you a profit. And that is really the core and the heart of this supercharging concept, at least at the fundamental level. So for a creative entrepreneur, if you find yourself in that place and you find yourself having gaps in your business learning, your business understanding, it is really behoves you to try to get those gaps filled. And one of the ways you can do that is right over here, supercharging with me as I share a lot of the tips and of course our online memberships and so on. So I have found there's an excellent book, which was one of my favorite books of all time. It's called The E-Myth, The Entrepreneur Myth by Michael Gerber. It's kind of a classic, if you will, entrepreneurial book at this point. And he highlights this very concept that people have their particular skills that they are good at, but they don't realize that they're going to have to learn all these other business things. And once they do, they can be more effective. So there are different ways to apply those techniques that they need to learn and how to put them to use most effectively. And today, one of the key things is the concept of alignment. So just because you have certain specific interests doesn't mean that it's incongruous with other interests that you may have. So this is taking it a little bit beyond just plain old creative, now going into the whole multifaceted, multi-talented, multi-potentialite type of entrepreneur who is good at many things or has many skills and different interests, but maybe has a challenge to bring it all together. How do they make it cohesive into one holistic business strategy? And that can be very challenging. And I'm coming to you as someone who fits that description. I'm a violinist, I'm an artistic person, I am creative, I'm a writer, I'm an author, and I love to create things. But at the same time, I have a very strong business sense because I have that foundation. I worked in banking for many years. So I have that left brain, right brain thing going on. So I understand how creative people think, and I also understand how more analytically minded people think. And the words are a little limiting. It's creative people are extremely analytical. They have to be in order to create. So maybe that's not the correct counter word, but I think to facilitate the conversation, I think you all understand what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I want you to think about that. So are you a creative entrepreneur? Would you classify yourself as one? And would you say that you could use or benefit from filling gaps of basic business skills? And if that's the case, I have some things for you. But before I share that with you, I just have to say I've been sharing with everybody my fancy new business cards, guys. They have arrived. Two of them arrived today. So I have two sets. So as a creative entrepreneur, as a violinist, working violinist, I have my violin cards. So that's one set. And then as a working coach, business coach, I have my business coach. I'm unveiling them to you here today. And it's a little bit of a different vibe, but they are cohesive. And that's the thing. They're cohesive. It's still me. It's all me, but a different maybe angle, a different dimension, but it still represents a multifaceted, cohesive person. And so the key is that you don't have to transmute into a different being just because one afternoon you play the violin and the other day you're coaching. No, you're the same person. You show up as the same person, but you're highlighting a different component of what you do. And that's one of the key things that I want creative entrepreneurs to keep in mind. You do not have to separate yourself. You bring your whole self to what you do at all times because it's connected. And one of the things that I'm going to be sharing about tomorrow, well, actually, it's today, later today, if you're watching this on Friday, July 12th, you will see that I will be at a special event where I'll be sharing about the secret formula to supercharge your business. But I wanted to hop back over for a moment to my supercharged thought over in the newsletter, which again, got to make sure you're getting the newsletter. Our supercharged thought this week was that synergy is that bonus that is achieved when things work together harmoniously. And this is a quote by none other than famous Mark Twain. And the idea of the bonus when things work together harmoniously. And one of the key things I would like to highlight as a creative type person is harmony. And especially as a musician, it's all about harmony. Living a harmonious life, having things work together in that way where they complement each other instead of the opposite. Okay, so I like to give little assignments or little to-dos, if you will, actually ways to implement what we're talking about. So I recommended making a list of anything you currently do that conflicts with your synergistic alignment. If it's not harmonious, if it's not working together, what are those things that are conflicting? Or feel out of whack, as I put it here. And ask yourself, what small step can you take today to ultimately remove it from your list? Okay, the lion awakes. The lion awakes. Joey, you're... Oh, don't topple over the laptop. Don't topple over the laptop. Uh-oh. Okay, he's gone underneath the laptop. Yes, what small changes can you make or steps can I take today actually to ultimately remove that friction from my list? So I encourage you to really, really take the time to think about this because these are the moments when we need to kind of have a heart to heart with ourselves, and then we'll kind of like know if that's the way we want to go. So that's something that I wanted to just highlight for us in here. And again, please do check out the rest of the Supercharge newsletter because I always have something in there that's kind of interesting that I want you to see. So, like, for example, the event that I'm speaking at later today, The Secret to Supercharging Your Business, is going to be totally exciting. And I'm going to share more about that after the event as well. You will have a debrief. And then change of pace, I encourage you to go check out my latest violin video because you guys need to do that. I mean, why wouldn't you? And thank you guys for those who helped me reach over 100 subscribers. That happened this week, I believe. Very exciting. Hold on. Yes, it is absolutely exciting. So with that, I have to share with you a couple other things that I think will be good for you to know about that's coming up. So let me show that to you. So the first event, as I mentioned, is happening later today on July 12th at 11:30. So I will be speaking about the secret formula to supercharge your business. And some of what I shared just now is a little bit about that as well. So you got a little preview, but there's a few more components that are really critical to this concept. And I invite you to attend the luncheon. I think there's still some spots available, so depending on when you're watching this, make sure that you go and register. Okay, with the Treasure Coast Premier Networking Women's Lunch, right? Great. Now the next event is happening the next day on the 13th, and I'm kind of blocking the screen. And this event over here is the Jamaican American Talk of Independence. It's at 5 p.m. and it's a special talk with the Jamaica Men of Florida organization with the president of the organization, Pete Kennedy, and hosted by one of the directors, Mr. David Muir, the great photographer, who will be interviewing none other than my dad, John McHugh, with his book. Where's Daddy's book? Oh my goodness, I can't believe I don't have it near right. Anyway, with Daddy's book, and The Forgotten Reapers of World War II, on how the gallant Jamaicans helped defeat the Axis powers. So that book has gained a lot of traction, a lot of interest in it. So that will be happening on Zoom, and it is open. Everyone's invited to come to that event. You'll see me share more about it as well. Okay, so save those dates. Those exciting things are coming up. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, it's time for us to dive into our Mindset Minute. And today's Mindset Minute is aligned synergy. What is life without alignment? You go to the mechanic and they say you need to align your tires, rotate them so that they are in alignment so that they can drive evenly on the road, so you don't have a lopsided vehicle. So in your life, you don't want to be lopsided either. You don't want to be half this way and half the other way. You want to have an even keel. You want to have a smooth, even ride. How do we do that? To make sure everything is in alignment. Make sure things are synergistically flowing harmoniously together. And as creative entrepreneurs, many times we may feel like we want to focus on one area versus another, and sometimes it might be a bit out of alignment. Well, we're here today in our supercharging process to put things together, realizing that only with alignment can things work smoothly. And there you have your Mindset Minute for today. Okay, guys. And by the way, if you need some help, with this alignment, if you need some help making sure that things are flowing together and working together for you as they should, as they should, then I would encourage you to make sure to check out the Supercharged CEO. You will want to check this out because it's all about supercharging your business and having the support that you need to grow. And in the Supercharged CEO, that's what we do. We take it to the next level. It's a kind of a customized coaching in a group coaching setting, and you're able to benefit from getting that feedback on your business. So all you need to do is go to the superchargedclub.com/join CEO, and you will have that information. Also, if you're not on the newsletter, I encourage you to make sure you go and you get your free gift of the Overcome Shiny Object Syndrome. It's how to focus. It's like a toolkit on how to focus. And all you need to do is go to emilymccue.com/free gift. Again, emilymccue.com/free gift. And you will not only get the gift, which is very useful, but you'll also be subscribed to our newsletter if you choose to be on it. So those are the insights for you, and I hope you do join us because we have so much value to share with you to help you supercharge your business and achieve your goals. And uh, I mean, why wouldn't you be doing that? I don't know why. I don't know why. And of course, I certainly hope you do have your copy of your Little Girl's Guide to Entrepreneurship. I think if you don't have it yet, you might want to still go and get it. It's still valuable. It's the foundation for all of my coaching work, and it's still applicable today. And even more so, even more so. And you don't have to be a little girl to read this book or to have it or to get it. Not at all, not at all. And when you get that book, you will understand that is absolutely so. So I hope this is useful in terms of giving you some insight. If this was beneficial to you, I want you to drop the word value in the comments. Let me know what stuck out, what resonated, what rang a bell for you. Ooh, and I forget to do my shout out to my eCam fam. How could I forget my Gold Mug Club? My Gold Mug Club. How can I forget, guys? eCam is having a special challenge going on in July, and as a elite member of the Gold Mug Club, I just had to come and represent my mug and my club. Okay, indeed, indeed. So with that, I'm gonna say hasta luego. We see you next time. Nos vemos. A biento. That's right. I do speak French and Spanish, and one day I will do some episodes in those languages. Okay, sounds good. All right. Take care. See you next time. Bye bye.